Sip before you rip is one of the greatest pieces of smoking advice that I can give you. I've mentioned it before. It's really great for helping you take bigger hits, and it can also help prevent coughing as much or coughing altogether. It's one thing that I practice almost every time I take a rip. I take a sip of water beforehand. Well, what does this mean and how can it help you? Think about when you take a bong rip. When you take any kind of rip, smoking or dabbing, whatever you're doing, the smoke goes into your mouth through your pharynx, your larynx, your trachea, and then into your lungs. It goes through your throat, through your voice box, into your windpipe, and then into your lungs. Smoke is an irritant. Your body recognizes this immediately. It's like, hey, bro, I don't think this shit should be inside of here. Let's ignore the fact that it's kind of mids, but I don't think we should have smoke in here at all. So a natural response is to cough. Obviously, we've all done it. Well, when you sip before you rip, what you're doing is you're hydrating, obviously. I am talking about sipping water. You're hydrating, and then you're getting the path for the smoke lubricated, essentially. Now, the water you drink's not going to go through your voice box. It's not going to go through your windpipe into your lungs, but it's going to go through your throat. Your throat typically has a protective barrier on it. It's got a little layer of moisture on there. A little more when you're hydrated, a little less when you're not as hydrated. Do you ever wake up after a night of drinking and you really need a glass of water? Your mouth is dry, your throat is dry. Like SpongeBob and Patrick hanging out with Sandy. Water! Think about that. You're SpongeBob after a night of drinking, bro. Your mouth is dry, your throat is dry. Now think about the smallest hit of weed, bro. The tiniest little puff on a joint, tiny little bong rip. That shit would destroy me. If my mouth's dry, if my throat's dry, I'm fucking done, dude. I can't hold back a cough at that point. So sipping before you rip can help lubricate the path where the smoke is going to go. You're essentially creating or helping to create a protective barrier in your throat that helps you deal with the smoke easier. That way, when you start to take the rip and the smoke hits your throat, you're not already ready to cough. This is one of the reasons some people can't take big rips. They can't get to the point where they're taking a big rip because they're coughing halfway through a small rip. So preparing your body, preparing yourself for that big rip is essential if you want to do it. Now, I do most of my smoking after 9 p.m. and then as a result, I feel like I do most of my hydrating then. I'll have a few glasses of water through the day. I might fill this up 2 or 3 times. But then in my 4 to 6 hour smoke session at the end of the night, which usually happens on Twitch, you should join me on Twitch for a smoke session. We go live after 9 p.m. Eastern. On those sessions, I typically drink a bit more water than I did throughout the day. Part of the reason is because I'm smoking. I'm sipping before I rip. But then also, in my experience, smoking tests your hydration. I usually don't take my first rip of the day until around 9 p.m. Eastern when I am on Twitch. And the more hydrated I am, the easier that hit is. That first rip is harsh as fuck. I'll usually sip before I rip. But the sipping before you rip is like a quick fix. It's like a Band-Aid. You're obviously, the more sips you take, the more hydrated you're going to get. But you're not really going to be prepared until you're fully hydrated. Say your throat genuinely has like a layer of moisture in there to get you ready for stuff like this. Well, the more water you have, the more readily available that protective layer is. And then you can always add to it, add a little bit of shields to it by taking that sip. Real quick, taking a bong rip is like playing Fortnite or Apex. That first rip is going to crack your shields, bro. You got no shield. So if you do another rip right after, dude, you're hitting your health bar at that point. You're going to die. So what do? We got to get the shields back, dude. We got to chug jug. So it's really great for 2 things when you sip before you rip. You can take a bigger hit. I like to take bigger hits, especially if I'm doing bong rips. They're harsh because it's smoke versus vapor. So I'd rather do less. I'd rather do a big ol' hit, wait a little while, and then do another one. I did a video about coughing recently, and one of the things I mentioned is you're going to get higher from taking a big ol' rip compared to like coughing on a smaller rip. You'd rather take bigger rips than just cough on small hits all day. It sucks. So sipping before you rip can help you achieve bigger hits. It can help you get there. Obviously, it's something that you have to build into, maybe practice over time until you get better and better at taking bigger hits. That is one of the best pieces of advice I can give you. Sip before you rip. Every rip. Bong rip, dab rip, joint rip. And the more sips you take, the more hydrated you're going to get. So this will help you take bigger hits and hopefully help cough less. And if you want to see my video called Stop Coughing So Much that goes into some of the dangers of coughing every day and some more tips to help prevent so much coughing, check this video out. Appreciate you watching. Have a lit day, my dudes.